I'm sure I have the perfect gemstone to match your eyes. Take a look.
No need to thank me.
At last! Akira, I have waited a second lifetime. There you are. And what kept you? Why should I wait so long for Rikuhu's messenger? Or have you come as Bareth's usher? The foreigners twist even our gods. Should you not be a dwarf? Akira, I have not met one before. But you are here to take me away, are you not? Well, I refuse to go. Never will I move from this place until justice is done. I follow Magrin's way. Yet sickness took me before my time. I died alone and without honors. It must be put right. My body cannot be left here to rot, forgotten. I feel it there like an itch. I have been many things. And in performing my duties, I brought honor to my caste and to my kin. A sea captain, a great explorer, trusted advisor to the Queen herself. Now, that is before I left the sea for the mountains to make maps and guide others. Chief Navigator, that is what I made of myself. I can see nothing in this place of death but distant lights. But I feel I must be close to where I died. I have not taken one step since the darkness came. The sickness, days of it, lying in my own filth as the disease withered me. Of course. Some kind of mistake was made, and now Magrin will put it right. I thank you. Please, search my home. My body cannot be far.
Let's just keep this our little...
No one to check up on her, I guess.
Have you found it? Akira, I hope I have not rotted away. Yes. To think, a Mutaru of the Kahanga tribe left to die alone and forgotten. Unthinkable. In life, I would have faced any challenge. Now you are my champion. Magrin smiles upon your deeds. Take my body to the Temple of Magrin in the Sacred Stair. There is a great fire there that burns eternally. Burn my body there, so that it may be dedicated to Magrin in death. I cannot pass from this life until all is in order. You are a blessing. I would complain that you arrived late, but no matter.
When I was little, me and my brothers used to spend hours chasing each other through the Merkberry fields. Don't think a day went by I didn't have a skinned knee or a bleeding elbow.
Oh, we did that sometimes. Only my brother usually had a hand in the bleeding.
He older or younger than you? Either way, I bet he's just as strapping.
Older. Was.
Do you seek companionship on your travels across the Deadfire? Why not take a little friend along? We have many animals on offer. All Akira. You are sure to find one that suits you.
Oh, I didn't...
So, it will be you, then. You do not know what I talk of, Akira? Then I owe you an apology. I have collected many foes over the years. Some of them would sprint up the mountain to see me push through the jaws of the great eel. Akira? I am certain it took hard work to earn such accomplished and capable foes. As Nungata Whale Splitter, I cleared the jungles and seas alike of slippery creatures. Ha! Bounties, you wild ibex. It's been years since I tossed a harpoon, so now I stay abreast of what bounties need filling. That's interested in taking up the trade, are we? I hear you've done good work for Aboko. We all start somewhere, I suppose. I warn you that I deal in the heads of the exceptionally dangerous. A lady needs standards, after all. You assume right, Hunter. Let's cut your teeth on clever Bena, infamous dwarf mystic of the obscured. A scavenger, I say. Picks off those who trust her for an evening, and then pockets their coin when she's bled them out. Bena was seen traveling on an island due southwest of Osongo. Ask away, Hunter. I miss traveling across the archipelago, answering to no one but my empty belly and purse. But this is a younger woman's game. Better that I step aside and make way for aspiring killers, Akira?
You must be careful when sparring. See the scratches on the wood? Greetings, and welcome to my home. For what do you come to my villa?
Knock, knock. No need to applaud. Sure. Why not? No need to applaud. That's it.
For what do you come to?
You return. What say, friend? You return. What say? There's always facile. Arkhammer seems to.
Hold a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company vipers. Take care you are not bitten. You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose. Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies?
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. The gods remember the honest, and so do I. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
She has a keen eye, my sister. Keener than your shooter's bird, Hazanui.
Don't listen to Amishi.
Among her other qualities, the Kahanga Queen can speak for herself.
One of our busiest ports. Much of the food we send to Rawatai passes through Hasongo. I take it from your question that you are not here to enlighten us about Hasongo.
Ak, I know this one. His parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
Huh. What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
Cantanichese. I'm acquainted with the Watcher of Cadnua from my assignments in Defiance Bay and Twin Elms.
Diverus? It explains the colorful nature of your reports.
I have seen things with him that are not even told in the most outlandish of sailors' tales.
And I'm supposed to take 2 Valians at their word?
How came a Watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court. The Lady of Doors must have great confidence in you. Tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain, a fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire? How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Adra to bankroll an economy. I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hisongo. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you.
Only that Hisongo is a Rawataian outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
Ma'am.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
And shut us out entirely? We have every right to know of any hazards in these waters. Palagino, go with the Watcher. See that the Republics are served in this investigation.
Ah, Your Excellency. Hamed Kongswalias.
That will be enough parading of champions for now. I'm certain that our guest knows how to assemble a crew. Akira, if you can stand the chattering of unlike minds on your ship, that is your prerogative.
Oh, good thing I'm already accustomed to cramped quarters and temperamental birds.
We both have our orders. I have no interest in interfering with you as long as you do not interfere with me.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi, aren't we popular? Take care at Hisongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in. And take care with your trading company spies.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Let's speak. Chance.
I know exactly what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses. Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Well, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come.
That's a good-looking bird. Hey, birdie. Hey, birdie.
Careful. I've seen him peck out eyes for less. Did your friend suffer a head wound? Before we get into deeper waters, you've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. Well, naturally, that's your right. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? Sort it out as equals. Interesting. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. Mostly preemptive measures. We try to pull the weeds before they reach the garden. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers. Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they emigrated to Rawatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. It was an education in patience. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's as a reward. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Kana came back from the Deerwood with a head full of ideas about Rawatai's expansion. Getting out from under the academics suited him. I never knew he could be so political. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. You kept him alive in any case. While he wandered the lands in search of stories, I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain.
your coming is a favorable omen already. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies. Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked. Ikera, to patch a hull or stitch a sail is costly when supplies come from distant islands. The city has honest work for those in need, I say, and insists that everyone carry a heavy purse. I am Onikaza's shield. For a time, let it suffice that we speak with the same authority. My sister and I both value action over fine words. If you can shoulder some of our royal burdens, I know she would be grateful. My sister keeps a tight grip on Neketaka, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet. Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Raparu for their silence. Take this if you need proof. An envoy ship sank a day's voyage out of Neketaka. He wore that on his breast. My guards recovered it in a raid of the gullet. This confirms my suspicion. Neketaka has a pirate problem. Smugglers and thieves cluster like rats in Delver's Row, a growth in the bowels of our city. I want someone to peddle the medallion to the black market, earn the trust of these pirates, and learn how supplies come into my city. Yours is not a face that others will recognize. Let no one learn that you work for the crown. They say you're on familiar terms with Ngati's chosen son, Takeho. See that he joins you in the gullet. He knows something of our troubles already. He gave me his confidence, I say. I leave the rest for him to disclose. Be on your guard in the gullet. I fear the caverns run deeper than even Ngati could guess. I hope you find our city pleasing, Watcher. I expect results if there's curiosity. Ikera, but it is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Neketaka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Neketaka tests our traditions, I say. You speak as if it is not. Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks. My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice. But Ikera, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Quite so, Maya. We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Huana, our burden to appease the gods. In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the isles. I see Ngati sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes. It is the same in the city as anywhere, and I am not the— Nowhere in the city does a Raparu— Ikera!
What do you need of me? Well? I suppose it is. Are you? Word of our order travels far, then. I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street. All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really. Well, you would need to become a shield bearer yourself to really learn it all. But I suppose I can teach you a thing or two as we stand here. My thanks.
Let's do this. I've got this.
He pays coin to feed the great eel.
You songwriters need a guild if you
He smells one touched by the great eel, does Barati. You are a man who sits across a fire with death, Akira. For glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Barati's cause. May the beasts of the dreaming lands never know famine. Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila. Akira, Tangaloa knew it would be so. Ask, but do not.
Not so. We speak in the tongue of Ngati and Amira. Your pretty dances may upset the puddle, but we command the wind and sky.
Hey, I have missed our little talks.
Akira. Knock, knock. Tips are always appreciated. Spice? No spice? No need to thank me.
You make a habit of turning up uninvited. Kahopa, Tangaloa, welcome our guest.
Watch out. When these things lick, well, I hope for your sake you're not ticklish.
You travel with a brave crew, Watcher. Nothing to fear, I say. If a queen cannot wrangle two cats, what right has she to the Deadfire? There are many leagues between here and Hasongo. I trust you have packed for the journey. Sail west from Neketaka's harbor. I would tell you to watch for a lighthouse, but Hasongo's Adra has gone dark. Take care that your ship does not run aground. There. You have it from a queen. Safe travels, Watcher. Watcher, something on your mind? Fine beasts, are they not? Gifts from the Wapua, a tribe of proud animal trainers. I named them Kohopa and Tangaloa, which makes the priests very unhappy. Aruihi thinks I should feed my enemies to them alive and screaming. Akira, I have given it thought. Ah, Akira, but listen how the Watcher flatters me. I cannot plant a seed in untilled soil. Akira, I want for there to be trust between us. The trading companies send spies to every corner of the mountain. I say there are places they cannot go. But you did not climb all the way up the mountain to pay compliments, I say. Neketaka is older than our memory. The Huana, of course. Walls and districts are not how we would build a city today. But this place has echoes of the past. And our future, I say, if we can but reach to grasp it. The Valians were very forthright in their desire to carve out a permanent outpost, I say. When cannon shot echoed across the seas, the Crown opened negotiations with Rawatai's armada. A healthier alternative to war. My brother thinks I am too lenient with our visitors. I say, I will accept even this uneasy balance. First, a question of my own. This city is not how the tribes would live. Walls stand between neighbors, and the beach is too far to walk comfortably. There are angles of this city I cannot see from my garden. What place has Neketaka in the great pattern of the Deadfire? My ancestors were inclined to agree. Akira, my thanks for your perspective. I say you give me much to consider. Because we are the shrub in the shadow of an old growth. Even the gods may protest, but this city blooms from the wealth of foreigners. Aruihi would have me force them back to their ships. I say it is better to feed my allies under a single roof. We are the stewards of the Deadfire. The one which taught us to shape water. It is said that Nagati bound her 4 guardians to protect the islands, the Adra, the seas, and the tribes. In return, she gifted them the forms of water shaping. For so long as our promise is kept, the goddess gives us dominion over water.
Awfully cozy how the tribes get to use the endorsement of a goddess in a land dispute.
If that is all you see, then Nagati's lesson is lost on you. May I live to see Rawatai's conceit unravel them from within. How long does coral grow? It is said the tribes assembled when Kohopa took his first mouthful of Amira's hatchling, and we will be here until the sea rises above our heads. Speak on. A friend of the crown should be well informed, I say. Neketaka is older than our... Speak on.
Hello there!
Come to have a word? I don't bite, I promise. Yes? Gladly, my friend, gladly. And how kind of you to ask. I am the youngest son of a noble house. Now, don't make that face. Poor, desperate fool, you must be thinking. Well, waste not your sympathies on me. Truly, I consider it a boon rather than a punishment. All the comfort and none of the responsibility. What's not to like about that? What else brings faraway travelers to the archipelago? Adventure. I've nursed a great love for heroic tales since my boyhood. As I was loafing about my father's estate, I thought, well, Gervard, isn't it time you made a name for yourself as well? So here I am. And though I dare say I'm little use in a fistfight, I can do a fair bit of magic and draw a lovely map. So I've taken to charting the interior. But it's worth it for the stories I'll one day have to tell. But truly, if I could only inspire others as I myself have been inspired by those old tales, why, it would be marvelous. Anyway, enough of my prattling. Surely you've other things to do. Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. For a price, of course. 3,000 copper? Well, I'll be here if you change your mind.